Welcome to The Explainer. You know, AI is moving at this breakneck speed, creating just incredible opportunities, but also some huge risks. So who makes sure it all stays on the rails? Well, a brand new kind of job is popping up to answer that exact question, the AI auditor. Let's dig into what that actually means. To really get why this role even exists, you've got to go to the global epicenter of AI, California. Right now, there are more than 5,000 AI companies registered there. And that's not just some random statistic. It's a massive concentration of power, of talent, and of code, all packed into one place. And with all that innovation comes some really intense scrutiny. So what about this number? $7,500. That's the potential fine for one single intentional violation of a state data privacy law. Just one. Now imagine that multiplied across millions of users. The risk becomes absolutely astronomical, and that creates a huge demand for someone who can stop these mistakes before they ever happen.
So yeah, all this opportunity and all this risk has created what you could really call a new kind of gold rush in California. But the gold this time isn't some mineral you dig out of the ground. It's data, and it's algorithms. And just like the original gold rush, this new frontier is incredibly exciting, but it's also chaotic and potentially pretty dangerous.
Get this. A full 15% of all AI investment in the entire United States is pouring right into California. So naturally, lawmakers are scrambling to build some guardrails. They're creating this really complex web of new rules, like one called the AI Transparency Act. And the goal is pretty simple. Make sure this incredibly powerful tech is built responsibly.
So with so much money on the line and so many new rules to follow, a really critical question pops up. Who is actually policing this new frontier? Who's making sure these companies are following the law? Well, that's where the AI auditor comes in.
And here they are, the AI auditor, or you might hear them called an AI compliance officer. Their whole job is to look under the hood of an AI system and check it against all those legal, ethical, and safety standards. You know, if the AI boom is the new digital Wild West, these folks are pretty much the new sheriffs in town.
You know, probably the easiest way to think about this role is to compare it to something we're all familiar with, a financial auditor. A financial auditor, right, they inspect a company's books to look for fraud. An AI auditor inspects a company's algorithms, checking for things like hidden biases or whether its decisions are fair and transparent. It's the same core idea, just applied to a totally new kind of asset.
So what does it actually take to be an AI auditor? I mean, what's in their toolkit for navigating this super complex world? Well, it turns out it's a pretty unique mix of skills.
It really boils down to 4 key pillars. You have to be part lawyer, mastering all those dense regulations. You also have to be a technologist, somebody who actually understands how the AI works. And then you have to be an ethicist, the one who champions fairness. And finally, you've got to be a strategist, building the governance systems that tie it all together. It's a tall order. And this right here, this gives you a taste of just how complicated the daily work can be. An auditor is literally using checklists just like this one. They have to go line by line, law by law, like the CCPA or SB 942, and confirm that every single requirement is met. Did we get the right data consent? Is the system transparent enough? Every single one of these boxes has to be checked. No exceptions.
Now, the good news is, auditors aren't just making this stuff up as they go along. They rely on established, globally recognized playbooks. They use tools like the NIST AI Risk Management Framework from the US government and official ISO auditing standards. It's all about bringing structure and rigor to their work.
Okay, so that's all the theory. But what does this actually look like out in the real world? How does this toolkit get applied to AI systems that are affecting our daily lives right now? Well, let's start with a sector where the stakes couldn't be any higher. Healthcare. A recent survey found that 62% of Californians are worried about how AI is using their personal health data. And, you know, when you see how it can go wrong, it's pretty easy to understand why.
So imagine an AI being used by a hospital. Its job is to predict how sick a patient might get. An audit discovers the algorithm is biased. It consistently gives worse predictions for people from certain backgrounds. The auditor's job is to flag this,
work with the developers to mitigate the bias, and then verify that the new, updated version is actually fair for everyone.
And this kind of work goes way beyond the hospital walls. AI auditors are tackling fairness in systems that decide who gets unemployment benefits or even who gets approved for a credit card. These are those black box decisions that have a massive, massive impact on people's lives.
So when we zoom out, what does all of this really mean? The rise of the AI auditor isn't just about creating a new job title. It's a signal of a really fundamental shift in how we approach technology, a shift toward building a future that we can actually trust.
There's a great way to think about this. Trust in AI isn't built with code alone. It's built with accountability. I mean, we can have the most brilliant, elegant code in the world, but real trust only comes from human-led systems that make sure the technology is serving us and not the other way around.
So ultimately, the AI auditor isn't just another tech job. It's a foundational role. It's the critical human infrastructure we are building around our most powerful tools to make sure that they're being used to serve all of us, safely and fairly.
And this leaves us with one final and really crucial question. As AI gets smarter every single day, are we getting any wiser about how to control it? The rise of the AI auditor is definitely a hopeful sign, but it's also a clear signal that the real work is just beginning. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.